Secrets of Chinese Sages greets you. If you find yourself exhausted even when you haven't done anything, it's likely your energy field is disrupted. At this point, it's essential to learn how to borrow energy from the universe. If you're someone with inherently low energy, you must master the art of tapping into cosmic power. Once you understand this, everything will begin to flow smoothly, even turning the tide in your favor. Today, let's explore 8 ways to activate the fortune hidden within your body and protect your personal energy field. Because possessing a strong energy field is the first step to transforming your destiny. First, use the law of attraction. There was a man, 45 years old, still poor and struggling. One day, he decided he couldn't continue living that way and made a vow. Within 1 year, he would earn $1 million. From that day on, while eating, walking, showering, even dreaming, his mind focused solely on the goal of earning $1 million. This thought occupied every corner of his consciousness. He even felt as if he already had that money in hand. Then one day, a spontaneous idea struck. Why not compile inspirational stories and simple life philosophies into a book for people who need motivation? He wrote a book and titled it Chicken Soup for the Soul. The book became a huge success, earning him over $1 million in royalties, just as he envisioned. That man was Jack Canfield, the creator of the Chicken Soup for the Soul series. This wasn't magic. It was the law of attraction in action. Keep your goal vividly in mind. Feel the joy of already having achieved it, and what you desire will be drawn to you. Do you realize how powerful the subconscious mind is? During World War II, the Germans conducted a psychological experiment. They blindfolded a man and strapped him to a chair. Then they ran an ice cube along his wrist and told him they were cutting his vein and that he would bleed to death. Meanwhile, they turned on a water faucet beside him so he could hear the slow drip of water, simulating blood dripping. In reality, his skin was unharmed. Just the cold mimicked the feeling of a blade. Yet, after an hour and a half, the man died from blood loss, though he had no actual wound. It's often said that cancer doesn't kill a person, fear does. Emotions can alter your very genes. In 1991, neuroscientists discovered a stunning truth. Our thoughts carry energy and frequency. They can attract things of similar vibration into our lives, shaping our fate. This is the universal law of attraction. Author Rhonda Byrne once hit rock bottom. Her father passed away, she went through a divorce, her career was falling apart. But then, by chance, she uncovered the secret of the universe's law of attraction. The energy of your reality attracts and interacts with other energies. She wrote The Secret, transformed her life, and became a billionaire. Believe that you're capable, and then act like it. Let that belief become part of your life and work. Eventually, you will become the very person you imagine. Warren Buffett once said, if your mindset is always about saving money, you'll never have enough energy to think about making money. You'll end up being stably poor. In simple terms, your energy field is your magnetic pull. The more positive you are, the more vibrant your energy, the more blessings and good fortune come your way. If your mindset is negative, you'll attract negativity, negative people, negative events, and miss out on benefactors and opportunities. Someone once asked European marathon champion Felix who he was most grateful to in life. Most expected him to say his family, friends, or coach. But to everyone's surprise, Felix thanked a thief, the one who stole his bicycle. When Felix was 13, he had to commute a long distance to school. His family couldn't afford dorm fees, so he rode a beat-up old bike every day. One day, he forgot to lock it, and it was stolen. His family couldn't buy another. Left with no choice, Felix began running 5 kilometers each way to school. Running 10 kilometers daily for 3 years didn't just earn him top honors at his school, it set him on the path to becoming a marathon champion. This story proves that luck truly exists. But to see it, you need faith. Second, stop overcalculating. Those who never allow themselves to suffer losses will eventually be betrayed by their own greed. Many people tend to overthink trivial matters, counting every penny, every tiny advantage. This kind of meticulous calculation might work when haggling at the market, but it's unsuitable for big endeavors or building meaningful relationships. When people around you notice this trait, they'll quickly distance themselves. Take the example of a man who possessed a large and stunning pearl. However, he was dissatisfied with a tiny blemish on it. He thought, if I could just remove this spot, it would become the most precious gem in the world. So he began polishing away the pearl's surface. But the blemish persisted. He kept grinding, layer by layer, until eventually the spot disappeared, and so did the pearl. Excessive calculation causes anxiety. It makes every task feel burdensome. It's like holding a handful of sand. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. But if you let it rest gently in your hand, it will stay longer. We often get agitated over small matters, petty gains and losses, minor misunderstandings, feeling as if a wall blocks our path. But if you can't go through the wall, turn around and find another way. Maturity is about accepting life's imperfections and not wasting time on the trivial. Use that time instead to discover life's beauty and cherish small moments of happiness. This is how you sustain and enhance your energy field. Third, expose yourself to new experiences. One day, a woman had a quarrel with her husband and was so angry she wanted to cry. But out of pride, she didn't want to return to her mother's home in tears. Then she had an idea. Why not cry at a funeral home? No one would think it strange there. She went to a mourning hall where an elderly man's funeral was being held and sat on the floor, sobbing. Two middle-aged women dressed in black whispered to each other, "Who would have thought this old man had a mistress?" They approached her gently and comforted her. "Sister, you clearly loved him deeply. We've decided to give you 10 million, but don't even think about touching the real estate or stocks." This story is a humorous reminder. Go outside and meet new people. Visit unfamiliar spaces. You never know what surprises await. People who isolate themselves and stay confined indoors slowly lose their vitality, their spirits dull. There are three main methods for restoring energy: heavenly replenishment, earthly replenishment, and human replenishment. Heavenly replenishment is about embracing nature, basking in the sun, watching the moon, feeling the breeze, hugging trees, touching leaves and flowers, bringing yourself back to the present moment. Earthly replenishment involves physical movement, walking barefoot on soft soil, hiking, swimming, or long walks to regenerate your energy through contact with the earth. Human replenishment means wearing clothes you love, enjoying your favorite meals, and engaging with like-minded people. These seemingly simple acts quickly restore your energy. If you stay home too long, your soul becomes stagnant, like a car left unused, clean on the inside but emitting a foul odor when opened. A soul confined within four walls begins to decay. Without fresh air, it becomes impure, just like that car. One day, it breaks down. Inamori Kazuo once said, "People must go out, socialize, experience new things, and meet all kinds of people. Only then can the mind function fully. Only then can you feel truly alive. It doesn't matter where you go. Even sitting at a cafe is enough." The important thing is, don't stay buried at home. Only by stepping outside can your radiant soul breathe. You don't need a specific goal. Just step outside, feel the drifting wind, watch the sunrise or sunset. Though they happen daily, each one is different. And who knows? You might stumble upon unexpected joy and meet extraordinary people. Remember, humans belong where there are no limits, no ceilings. Go to a nearby park and observe the trees stretching to the sky. Watch the birds fly across the open sky. You'll realize your world is simple, beautiful. So what is hardship? Hardship is trapping yourself inside four walls, making everything complicated. The way out is to take a single step forward. Every step is a path. You must go out to find luck. Without stepping out, how could you ever meet fortune? Fourth, learn to smile. There was once a man who lost his job. The weight of life's burdens made him constantly frown. He tried his hand at small trading, but always ended up with losses. One day, he heard that a successful businessman had moved into town. Desperate, he decided to ask the man for advice. The businessman welcomed him warmly and said, "I'm no Buddha, but I'd like to ask you for a favor. I have 50 pairs of socks. Help me sell them within a week. But no matter what, whether people buy or not, you must keep a smile on your face." Surprised, the man accepted the task. He went door to door with those socks, smiling and patiently explaining their quality. In just 5 days, he sold every pair. He returned to the businessman's house, only to be told by the wife that her husband had left town, leaving only a message. "Now sell 100 pairs this week before returning." Though it felt like a cold splash of water, the man didn't give up. This time he smiled even more, treated customers even better. Again, within 5 days, he sold all 100 pairs and even received advance orders. Excited, he rushed back and asked if there were more socks available because demand was growing. The businessman laughed heartily and said, "I believe you've discovered the secret to success." The man was stunned, then burst into laughter. That secret, he realized, was the power of a positive attitude and joy in your work. In May 2012, a security guard at Alibaba made headlines. Out of tens of thousands of employees who left the company that year, his departure stood out. Why? Every morning at 6 a.m., he would stand at the company gate with a beaming smile, showing all 16 of his teeth, and greet every employee with a cheerful "good morning." Though he only had a middle school education and claimed no special skills, he believed his smile and optimism could change his life. His transformation began with a simple act, saying hello to strangers. At first, no one noticed him, but over time, more and more people began responding to his greetings. His consistency each morning made him increasingly well known at Alibaba. Eventually, the smiling security guard became a familiar nickname. Before leaving the company, he posted a message online. "We may not be able to change the world, but we can change ourselves. The simplest way to rid yourself of negative energy is to smile every day." Stand in front of a mirror and smile for 5 to 10 minutes a day. You'll feel the shift in energy. Don't believe it? Try it yourself. Fifth, do something new. There was once a beggar walking down the street when he met a little girl selling flowers. She saw how pitiful he looked and kindly gave him a rose. When he got home, the beggar casually placed the rose in a dirty old bottle, but soon he paused and thought, "This beautiful flower doesn't deserve such a filthy bottle." So, he cleaned the bottle and placed the rose back in. Then he looked around and thought, "A clean bottle and a lovely rose don't belong in such a messy house." So he cleaned his home. Once that was done, he thought again, "The house is now tidy, the rose is lovely, but I'm still in torn, filthy clothes." He bathed, shaved, and put on cleaner clothes. Standing before the mirror, he looked at the rose, the clean house, and himself, and asked, "Why am I living like a beggar?" The next day, he went out to look for a job. He wanted to live a life worthy of that one rose. Dear listener, when the way you treat life doesn't change, the events in your life won't change either. You'll just keep looping through the same dull routine. So where does good fortune come from? It comes when you try something new. Sometimes a single rose can set off a butterfly effect that changes your entire life. Henry Ford once said, "If I had asked people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse." What they truly needed was a car. But in those days, people were reluctant to give up horses. They found them warm and interactive, while cars seemed cold and lifeless. It's always the same. In every era, people resist the new. They're trapped in outdated habits, clinging to comfort and familiarity, rarely stepping into the unknown unless pushed by something drastic. During the early Republic of China era, the government ordered citizens to cut off their traditional Q hairstyles. Many resisted, claiming that hair was a gift from their parents and must not be cut. But when the law stated that failure to comply would result in execution, everyone obeyed. People are often bound by old habits and seldom change willingly. Yet when a strong enough force, a criticism, a moment of shame comes along, it can become a turning point. Let's talk about opportunity. It's not some magical moment that drops from the sky. That idea is a myth. Successful people usually go through dozens, even hundreds of failures before they finally find something that works. Only then do people look back and say, "Wow, they had such great vision." But the truth is, they just kept trying until something stuck. That one successful moment wasn't a lightning strike. It was the result of countless experiments. Sixth, stop complaining and start reflecting. There was once an elderly couple who had spent a lifetime together in love and harmony, but the old man had one persistent frustration. He hated how his wife always cooked the noodles too soft. Year after year, he told her, "Don't overcook the noodles. 5 minutes is just right." Yet, every time he sat at the table, the noodles were soft and soggy. One day, he had enough. He decided to cook the noodles himself. He boiled them for exactly 5 minutes, and the result was perfect, just the way he liked. Excited, he called to his wife, "Come here. Today I'll show you how noodles should be cooked." But his wife stayed in bed, smiling, and replied, "Today, I want you to see for yourself how even perfectly cooked noodles can become soggy. It turned out she had always cooked the noodles right. The real issue? He woke up too late every day. By the time he came to eat, the noodles had already cooled and turned soft. So many people blame others without realizing that the real problem lies within themselves. When facing difficulties, instead of complaining or assigning blame, take a moment to reflect inwardly. Those who constantly complain often have the least good fortune. People blessed with fortune are not ones who grumble. They remain cheerful, optimistic, and content with what they have. Consider this: the woman who complains about her husband can never feel joy in her marriage. The parent who constantly complains about their child can't appreciate the blessings of parenthood. The person who grumbles about their noodles may even choke on them. The one who whines about water may one day burn their tongue. There was a woman who constantly criticized her neighbor. "That woman is so lazy," she'd say. "Look at her laundry hanging out to dry, always filthy." One day, a close friend visited her house and seeing how dirty the window was, wiped it clean. Looking out again, the woman was shocked. Wait, the neighbor's laundry isn't dirty at all. It turns out the window she'd been looking through was stained and grimy, making everything outside seem filthy. Too often, we judge others harshly while ignoring the flaws in ourselves. Instead of rushing to find faults in others, take a hard look within. That's the only way to truly resolve problems. Every complaint drains your fortune and poisons your life. Complaining is like secondhand smoke. It harms both the speaker and the listener. Psychologists at the University of California, Los Angeles once conducted an experiment. They placed an optimistic person in a room with a chronic complainer. After just 20 minutes, the optimist began to sigh, feel bored, and adopt the complainer's negative mood. Negativity is a virus. It spreads quickly. There are people in this world who are like emotional black holes. They suck the energy from you until you're drained and miserable. Seventh, stay away from negative people. Imagine on an unlucky day you fall into a muddy pit with a pig. What should you do? Climb out of the pit. Don't waste your time wrestling with the pig. If you fight the pig in the mud, you'll get dirty, and the pig will enjoy it. In life and work, you'll encounter negative, unreasonable people. The smartest response is not to argue, but to walk away. There's an old saying, when a dog bites a man, the man doesn't bite back. Refusing to wrestle with pigs isn't about being weak, it's about protecting your peace. Truly wise people are experts at safeguarding their energy. Sometimes, after just a short conversation with someone who's not on your frequency, your energy feels drained. It might take days to recover. No matter how perfect you are, someone in your circle will always dislike you. Instead of fighting that reality, learn to adapt or ignore it. Focus on what you can change and what truly matters. What exhausts us isn't the mountains in the distance, it's the pebble in our shoe. You can't stop sand from slipping into your shoe, but you can stop and empty it out. As you grow and gain perspective, negative people and petty troubles become nothing more than grains of sand along your path. Have you ever noticed that when you're with certain people, you feel calm, peaceful, and whole, even if you were anxious just moments before? That's because their energy field is pure, steady, and healing. When someone trains themselves to cultivate a stable, peaceful energy, they begin to influence those around them. Surround yourself with positive, warm, and uplifting people. Avoid those who drag your energy down. By doing this, you'll maintain a powerful, radiant energy field and naturally attract high-frequency energy from the universe. Eighth, do not interfere with other people's karma. There was a small river without a bridge, so people had to use boats to cross each day. Every morning, a crowd would gather at the riverbank. The boatman would push the boat from the sand into the water, unintentionally crushing countless small fish and shrimp lying on the riverbank. One day, a scholar waiting for the boat stood next to a monk. Looking at the dead fish, the scholar said, "Master, look at all these poor creatures. Whose fault is this? The boatman's or the passenger's?" The monk, a seasoned Zen master, calmly replied, "It's your fault." The scholar was stunned. "My fault? What does this have to do with me?" The monk answered slowly, "Because you're meddling in a matter that isn't yours." In life, we must understand our role and uphold integrity, conscience, and morality. When you overstep and interfere in matters that aren't your responsibility, all you bring upon yourself is turmoil. Wise people don't meddle in the affairs of others. They don't intervene in other people's karmic paths. They understand that no one can truly change another person. Trying to control or transform someone else only leads to frustration and mental exhaustion. For example, imagine someone starving. You bring them a fish, but after a while they complain, "I can't stand the smell." In the end, not only do you fail to help, but you also complicate your own life and neglect your own tasks. Some people enjoy inserting themselves into the private matters of others, only to suffer disaster as a result. A vivid lesson comes from the story of Liu Bei. When Liu Bei visited Jingzhou, he frequently drank with the local ruler Liu Biao. One day, during a drinking session, Liu Biao suddenly began to cry. Concerned, Liu Bei asked what was wrong. Liu Biao confessed that though his eldest son, Liu Qi, was capable, he was too mild-mannered and weak. His younger son, Liu Kong, born of Lady Kai, was intelligent, and Liu Biao was considering making him the heir. But doing so would violate tradition and stir controversy. He asked Liu Bei for advice. Grateful for Liu Biao's trust, Liu Bei replied honestly, "From ancient times, changing the rightful heir has always caused chaos. You must not do it. If you fear Lady Kai might create trouble, you should learn how to manage her, but never spoil the younger son." Liu Biao remained silent. What Liu Bei didn't know was that Lady Kai had been eavesdropping from behind a screen. Every word he said reached her ears. From that moment, she grew deeply resentful of Liu Bei. She later colluded with her family multiple times in an attempt to eliminate him. In China, there's a proverb, "Don't hold others' family issues close to your chest." Every household has its own unreadable scripture. Even the wisest judge cannot fairly settle domestic matters. If you haven't even managed your own house well, what right do you have to comment on others? Doing so is nothing more than inviting trouble. So, to protect your energy, stay out of what doesn't concern you. When you constantly involve yourself in matters that don't belong to you, trying to fix other people's relationships, make their decisions, or save them from consequences, you tie your fate to theirs. This is especially dangerous when done out of misplaced sympathy or guilt. Helping someone when you're not supposed to is like swimming into a whirlpool to save someone who jumped in on purpose. You may both drown. The universe has its laws. Every person must walk their path, face their lessons, and answer for their karma. If you rush in to rescue someone from what it is meant to teach them, you may be interrupting a divine process. Worse, their burden might become yours. Think of karma as a wheel set in motion. You're not just stepping into their story, you're stepping into the force of their past actions. Are you prepared to bear that? Some people spend their lives fixing others, trying to save an addict, trying to change a toxic partner, trying to carry someone else's pain. But what they often end up with is deep emotional exhaustion, resentment, and the loss of their own path. Wise sages knew, compassion is powerful, but discernment is essential. Real kindness is not about rushing to help, it's about knowing when not to. If someone is on fire, don't burn yourself trying to put it out. Offer water from a distance, but protect your own flame. Every energy field has its limit. Protecting your spiritual energy is not selfish. It's sacred. In the end, the path of enlightenment, abundance, and true peace isn't about saving the world. It's about mastering yourself. Let your energy be clean, your mind be calm, your actions be intentional. When your energy field is strong and balanced, you don't need to chase luck. Luck finds you. This is the wisdom of the ancient sages. It is not loud, not flashy, but it endures, quietly shaping a life of true fortune. Thank you for listening, and may your journey be filled with light.